Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a wildly beautiful Tuesday, and my mind is absolutely racing with all the latest drama coming out of Los Angeles. So let's just dive right into the madness because there is so much to unpack right now. Brooke Logan Forrester is just standing her ground and digging her heels so deep into the dirt that you can practically hear the earth cracking beneath her feet because she is absolutely refusing to let go of this heartbreak and this fury over what Hope has done. She is pacing around that massive empty Logan mansion, letting the silence amplify her rage while the memories of her daughter's betrayal just loop in her head like a bad movie that she cannot turn off. Forgiveness is not even a word in Brooke's vocabulary right now. It is completely off the table. She is looking at Hope not as her child, but as a traitor who conspired with Katie to humiliate the Forrester family on a global stage. And Brooke simply cannot process the reality that her own flesh and blood would do this to her. The consequences of this absolute refusal to forgive are becoming so incredibly severe that Hope and Liam are literally being forced to pack their bags and get off Brooke's property. Imagine the sheer emotional violence of that moment. Brooke looking her daughter in the eye and telling her that she is no longer welcome in the home she grew up in, the home where she raised her own children. Hope is probably standing there in shock while Liam is awkwardly trying to gather their belongings, and little Beth is wandering around wondering why grandma is so angry and why they have to put all her toys into boxes. It is a complete and total destruction of the mother daughter bond that has been the emotional anchor of this entire show for decades. Liam is, of course, trying to play the eternal optimist because that is exactly what Liam Spencer does when the world is falling apart around him. He is probably hovering around Hope while she cries into her packed suitcases, telling her that Brooke is just blowing off steam and that her mother will eventually come around and see things from their perspective. He always thinks time heals everything. He genuinely believes that Brooke's maternal instincts will override her corporate loyalty to Ridge and Forrester Creations, but Liam is so completely blind to the depth of Brooke's humiliation here. He does not understand that Brooke feels like she was made a fool of on live television while 4 million people watched her daughter strut down a runway for the enemy. Hope knows better. Hope is absolutely terrified that her relationship with her mother is permanently broken and that she has lost Brooke forever. She is feeling the crushing weight of her ambition slamming right into the reality of her family dynamics. She wanted to step out of the Forrester shadow and be her own woman and build a brand that actually respected her vision. But the price of that independence is looking like complete estrangement from the woman who gave her life. Hope is looking at her packed bags and realizing that she might never be invited back for Christmas or Thanksgiving or family dinners because Brooke is drawing a line in the sand that is 10 feet deep. Because they are being evicted from the Logan property, they have to find somewhere to go. And naturally, they are heading straight to the Spencer estate. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan Spencer are going to open their doors and welcome Hope and Liam and Beth with open arms. Bill is probably grinning from ear to ear with that smug dollar sign smile of his because he loves nothing more than seeing the Forresters implode. Having Hope literally living under his roof is the ultimate victory lap for Bill. He bankrolled her new fashion line, and now he is providing the roof over her head, making him look like the absolute savior of the Logan women, while Brooke looks like a tyrant. Katie is going to be right there standing firmly by Hope's side and defending her niece's choices. Katie is looking at Brooke's behavior and thinking that her sister has completely lost her mind. She and Bill are going to sit Hope down in that massive Spencer living room and pour her a drink and tell her that Brooke is being completely unreasonable. They will validate every single thing Hope is feeling. Katie will remind Hope that she deserves to be celebrated for the massive success of her House of Logan debut and that Brooke should be popping champagne instead of throwing her daughter out onto the street. Katie is not going to let Brooke's toxic loyalty to Ridge ruin Hope's moment of triumph. The battle lines are just getting sharper and sharper because over at Forrester Creations, Steffi Forrester Finnegan is sharpening her claws and preparing for the mother of all confrontations. Steffi is absolutely seething. She is vibrating with rage over the fact that Hope abandoned Forrester Creations and completely derailed the Hope for the Future relaunch that Steffi had generously offered her. Steffi feels like she extended an olive branch to Hope only to have Hope snap it in half and use the jagged edge to stab her in the back. Steffi wants to blast Hope in person. She wants to stand face to face with her rival and scream at her for being a manipulative traitor who took all of Forrester's resources and goodwill and threw them in the trash. You just know Steffi is going to unleash years of pent-up resentment when she finally gets Hope in a room. She is going to accuse Hope of being just like Brooke. She will say that the Logans always take what belongs to the Forresters and then play the victim when they get called out on it. Steffi is going to make sure Hope knows that she is dead to Forrester Creations and that they will crush her new Logan line into absolute dust. The corporate war is bleeding so deeply into the personal animosity that there is no separating the two anymore. Zende Forrester Dominguez is also caught in the crossfire of this betrayal, and his heartbreak is turning into pure, unadulterated bitterness. Zende was counting on being the lead designer for the Hope for the Future relaunch. He poured his heart and soul into those designs. He stayed up late, sketching and dreaming and preparing to show the world what he could do with Hope's vision. Now all of those sketches are just worthless pieces of paper sitting in a dark office because Hope took her name and her brand to Logan. Zende feels completely used and discarded. What makes it even worse for Zende is that Hope replaced him with Deke Sharp. Deke is a rookie. Deke does not have the legacy or the training or the Forrester name, but Hope chose him anyway. Zende is going to have some incredibly harsh words for Hope when he sees her. He is going to tell her that she has no loyalty and that she threw away a guaranteed success just to play rebellious dress up with her Aunt Katie. Zende's artistic pride is wounded, and a wounded artist is a dangerous thing in the fashion world. The Forresters are entirely thrown into turmoil because of this, and they have to figure out how to pivot and save their own upcoming couture launch while dealing with the emotional fallout of Hope's defection. The younger generation is completely falling apart too because Will Spencer and Elektra Forrester are hitting a massive speed bump that might completely destroy their relationship. Will made a fatal error. He kept quiet about all the Logan developments. He knew about the new jewelry line, and he knew that his father had secured the $100 million Hope for the Future diamond, and he did not say a single word to Elektra. Will was trying to be a loyal Spencer and protect his family's business secrets, but in doing so, he lied by omission to the woman he loves. Elektra is absolutely furious. She is looking at Will and realizing that she cannot trust him. Trust is everything to Elektra, especially after all the trauma she has been through with Ivy's manipulations and the ghosts of her past. Finding out that Will was sitting on this massive corporate secret while she was stressing out at Forrester Creations is a betrayal she cannot just brush off. The friction between them is going to be lasting and deep. Elektra is making a huge decision. She is refusing to live at the beach house with Will while this conflict is hanging over their heads. Elektra is packing her bags. Just like Hope, she is walking out the door, but for entirely different reasons. She cannot sleep in the same bed as a man who is actively helping the enemy fashion house destroy her family's legacy. The beach house used to be their sanctuary, and now it just feels like a prison of lies. Elektra needs space. She needs to get away from the Spencer gravity and figure out who she is without Will constantly pulling her into his family's chaotic orbit. This distance is exactly what RJ Forrester has been waiting for. RJ is lurking in the shadows like a predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The second he hears that Elektra is moving out of the beach house and freezing Will out, RJ is going to pounce. He is going to swoop in with his charming smile and his sympathetic eyes and offer Elektra the support she desperately needs. RJ is an opportunist. He has always wanted Elektra, and now that Will has handed her to him on a silver platter, RJ is going to make sure he maximizes the damage. RJ will probably invite Elektra back to the Forrester estate. He will tell her that she belongs with her real family. He will whisper in her ear that Spencers always lie, and that Will was always going to prioritize his father's company over her heart. RJ is going to play the role of the perfect supportive friend while actively trying to steal Will's girlfriend. It is a classic soap opera maneuver, and RJ is executing it flawlessly. Elektra is vulnerable and heartbroken, and RJ's comforting presence might be exactly what pushes her over the edge into his arms. Back at the beach house, Will is going to be sitting alone in the dark, wondering how everything fell apart so fast. He was just trying to do the right thing for his dad, and now he has lost the girl of his dreams. But Will is not going to be alone for long. Melissa Dillon is right there. Dillon has been trying so hard to keep her friendship with Elektra intact, but her feelings for Will are undeniable. She is drawn to him. Like a moth to a flame, she cannot stay away when he is hurting. Dillon is going to step into that beach house and offer Will a shoulder to cry on. She is going to look at him with those sympathetic eyes and tell him that he is a good person who was just put in an impossible situation. Dillon understands Will in a way that Elektra right now refuses to. The temptation is going to be absolutely overwhelming. They already shared a kiss in the past, and those lingering feelings are just waiting to be reignited. Will is vulnerable. Dillon is available. The proximity and the shared emotional intensity are going to create a spark that could burn the whole beach house down. This love quadrangle is getting so messy and so complicated. You have Will pining for Elektra, but being comforted by Dillon. You have Elektra heartbroken over Will, but being seduced by RJ. It is a tangled web of young love and corporate espionage and family loyalty. Every single choice these kids make is being influenced by the massive Forrester versus Logan war happening above their heads. They are the collateral damage of their parents' ambition. Meanwhile, in a completely different corner of Los Angeles, Sheila is executing her own psychological warfare. Sheila is hounding Taylor Hayes relentlessly. Sheila holds all the cards right now because she has the divorce papers that Deacon desperately needs signed. Sheila is not just going to hand over her husband without extracting a massive pound of flesh. She is demanding 2 days a month of monitored visitation with John Finnegan, and Little Hayes. 2 days a month, that is 24 days a year of Sheila having access to the family she terrorized. Sheila is sitting in her apartment looking at those unsigned divorce papers with a wicked smile on her face. She knows exactly what she is doing. She is forcing Taylor to do her dirty work. Taylor wants Deacon so badly that she has crossed every ethical boundary in the book. She slept with her patient. She blew up her professional integrity. And now to get her happy ending, Taylor has to become Sheila's advocate. Sheila is basically telling Taylor that if she wants to play house with Deacon, she has to pay the toll, and the toll is Steffi's sanity. Taylor is dreading this. She is absolutely sick to her stomach knowing that she has to bring this tricky topic up to Steffi. How do you look your daughter in the eye and ask her to hand over her child to a sociopath? Steffi already shot Sheila. Steffi evicted Sheila from her home with violent prejudice. Steffi hates Sheila with the heat of 1,000 suns. Taylor knows that even suggesting this visitation deal is going to make Steffi look at her like she is a monster. You can bet everything you own that Steffi is going to completely lose her mind when Taylor brings this up. Steffi is going to fume. She is going to scream. She might actually break something. The thought of giving Sheila any time with Finn and Hayes at all is repulsive to Steffi. Steffi's protective mama bear instincts are going to kick into overdrive, and she is going to view Taylor's request as the ultimate betrayal. Taylor is choosing a criminal over her own daughter's safety just so she can have a man. Steffi will probably tell Taylor to get out of her sight. She will tell her that Deacon is not worth sacrificing the safety of her grandchildren. But Taylor is desperate. Love makes people do crazy things, and Taylor is so deeply in love with Deacon that she might actually try to push this through. The collision course between Steffi and Taylor and Sheila is going to be catastrophic. It is a ticking time bomb of maternal rage and psychotic manipulation. July sweeps are truly delivering on every single front. We have Brooke kicking her daughter out onto the street. We have Hope seeking asylum with Dollar Bill Spencer. We have Steffi declaring war on the Logans while simultaneously preparing to fight her own mother over Sheila. We have Zende seeking artistic revenge. We have Will and Elektra's relationship shattering into a million pieces while RJ and Dylan swoop in to pick up the scrap. Every single character is being pushed to their absolute breaking point, and nobody is walking away from this summer without some serious emotional scar. The drama is relentless, and I am here for every single second of it.